Hello everyone, welcome to the weekly Purple Penny coin news video. My name's Mark. I own and run the Purple Penny along with my wife Catherine. We're a small bricks and mortar coin dealer in the northern suburbs of Adelaide in South Australia. We've been here for coming up to 5 years. We've got a website, thepurplepenny.com, if you want to go and take a look there. And of course, you're watching this on Facebook. We have an active Facebook page. If you're watching it later on YouTube, then you can join in live every Monday at 12 o'clock and interact with me live. Now, what's happened this week? Last week was, I guess, my general observation is that activity in the shop and on our website is probably slowed down a little bit after Christmas. We've been steady here in the shop without being swamped like we often were in November and December last year. I don't know why that's the case. Website sales have been fine. It's definitely been slower in the shop, not just in terms of sales but in terms of purchasing as well. So what that means, I don't really know. I've certainly spoken to the other coin dealer here in Adelaide and he's experienced the same thing. And what does that mean for the market? It probably doesn't mean anything. It just means that it's been 6 weeks since the last $2 release and everyone's probably holding their breath waiting for mint sets and proof sets and mint mark sets and the next $2 coin, and I'm sure things will pick up again. Right, we'll say a few hellos here. Hello Daryl, Peter, Richie, Jason, Claire, John Belcher, Ted, Carolyn, Mike, Charles. Thank you everyone for joining in. As you know, I do like interacting with people live. So let's jump into the news here. The 2023 $2 anniversary sets. Peter Andrews, who runs Independent Coin News. If you are interested in a bit of a free read on numismatics and goings on in the coin collecting world, then jump onto Facebook and search for Independent Coin News. It's a free bi-monthly newsletter, very comprehensive, and that's put together by Peter Andrews, who's a well-known numismatist here in Australia. He has been doing these graphs over the last few weeks, and thank you Peter for supplying this information to me this morning. And you can see day by day sales there of the 2023 35th anniversary $2 set. Now why is this interesting at the moment? Because of course the ballot happened last week, which I'll talk about next. And as you can see there, the price hasn't changed much. It's settled at between $350 and $300 on eBay. They are consistently selling for under $350 on social media. Not, I guess, the return that flippers were expecting. So how do we think this is going to be affected by the ballot? Who here entered the ballot? There was what the Mint is calling an EQL ballot for the balance of the 2023 sets that they didn't sell through their physical store and their phone lines. And how many sets that is, no one really knows. But the ballot itself was held by a company called EQL, who specialise in high volume product launches. And last Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the morning you could sign up, or 8:30, I can't remember if it was 8 or 8:30 Eastern time. You could sign up with your email address and address and credit card, and then the next morning the ballots closed at the same time, and within an hour or two of ballot closure people started getting notified about whether they were able to purchase a set at release price or not. Catherine and I both entered, of course. I wanted to see how the process ran. Catherine did it as well for the same reason. We both did not get the opportunity to purchase a set, which is fine because we don't really need one, but we just thought we'd see how it went. I'll just clear up a few misunderstandings that people had about the EQL system. Now, if you're wondering how that works, if you jump on to YouTube and go back to our video in the second week of December last year, we did actually talk about exactly how the EQL system works. Basically, the first draw that EQL does with the mint, and this is the first draw that EQL has done with the mint, so please don't get this confused with the 2022 Red Poppy ballot that the mint held. They're different things. In the first draw that the mint holds with EQL, given that you pass all of their identity checks and spam checks and fraud checks and stuff, then you have exactly the same chance of being given the opportunity to win one of those sets as everyone else. Now, if you didn't win a set this time, the next EQL ballot that the mint holds, you'll actually have two chances to be given the opportunity to purchase whatever it is at release price. Doesn't mean you're going to get double the probability, but you'll get two chances. Effectively, your entry next time counts as two entries. If you were successful this time with one of the sets, then you will only get one entry. So what does that mean? It means that every time you're in one of the EQL ballots for the mint and you are unsuccessful, the next time there's an EQL ballot, you are given an additional chance to purchase the release at release price, or whatever the price is the mint is doing. So despite the fact that the letters EQL spell equal, there's not an equal chance in every draw. Basically, if you continually get selected, then your chances are less in every draw than the people who are not selected. Now, that to me sounds like a very fair system. It means the same people won't consistently get allocated the sets. It means that if you keep missing out, then you have more and more chance to be allocated a coin or a set or whatever it is that they're releasing. And in the background, EQL themselves, they have very sophisticated anti-fraud, anti-duplicate ID, anti-bot protection, and we don't know what any of that is or how that works, but that's what they specialise in, and the mint don't have to worry about it. Everyone can just accept the fact that another company that specialises in this sort of stuff is doing it. I think it's a big improvement. If you didn't get selected, don't be sad. There'll be more ballots and you'll have more chances to win new products. There aren't enough products to go around, and that's just the way it is at the moment in this hobby. 3 years ago, people were complaining there was too many products to go around. So, the mint's doing their best, and if you didn't win this one, then wait and try and get the next ballot, or as I suggested a couple of weeks ago, find some other coins to collect that aren't new releases. Right, next item on the news was a interesting coin find in the Judean Hills. The Judean Hills are in Israel, and I guess what's interesting about this is two things. Is that it's only the third or fourth time that a coin of this age has been found in Israel. So the coin itself dates to between 600 BC and 500 BC. And of course coins were only minted in the late 600 BCs. That's when they first got minted in this part of the world. So you're talking about a coin that has made its way from Western Turkey, perhaps Greece, perhaps Sicily, that sort of area. It's made its way several hundred kilometres into the hills of Israel in a period of, perhaps less than 50 years. And it is one of the first early indications of the usage of coins in Israel. So that's what makes it interesting to begin with. Second is that the coin itself has been cut in half, and it's been deliberately cut in half. Now, why that is the case is uncertain. Perhaps it was used as a trade weight. So perhaps it was because all these coins had a standard size, standard weight. Perhaps it was used as a trade weight to determine the weight of things, or alternatively perhaps someone cut it in half to give it out as change, because of course that did happen right up until the 1800s, where coins were cut up and given out as change. So a really interesting find there in the Judean Hills in Israel. If you're wondering why they found it, is because they were doing excavations for a new road. And whether it be in Israel or Italy or Greece, it's amazing what can turn up in general excavations in those areas. It must be a very different experience when you're doing developments there and you dig up 5,000-year-old things while you're doing your development. Now let's just see here if we've got any comments here that we'll just read about. So hello Mark, Antonius, Ray, Sam, Peter, Patrick, Ian, Sarah. So there's quite a few people there that have commented that they were unsuccessful in the ballot. Thank you John Sharp for your kind comments there. Ted says, I understand from news.com.au there was a total of 6,000 sets. Ted, I think the Mint hasn't really disclosed how many sets were released nor number of people in the ballot. I think there was a lot of stuff going around on social media about the numbers, but I didn't actually see any concrete sources about that, and just because it's on news.com.au doesn't make it fact. Hello John, Ogie, Gary, Ellie and Matt. Thank you everyone for joining in. We've got a lot of people watching today. Right, so interesting coin find in Israel there. Next item in the news was a house clearance in Leicester in the UK. Just a normal house clearance after someone had passed away, and the people that were clearing the house found 331 sovereigns, according to the news story. 331 sovereigns concealed in pillowcases and socks around the house. And it looks like they were mostly bullion sovereigns dating from the late 1800s to the present day. And they've all been auctioned now, where they auctioned for £118,000, which is about $227,000. Now, what makes me question the accuracy of this particular article is that it's only about 685 Australian dollars a coin. If they were all sovereigns, there's about $723 worth of gold in a sovereign. So a sovereign is a 22 carat coin. 22 carat means it's 22 out of 24 parts gold, which is about 91.7%. And there's just a fraction under 8 grams of gold in a sovereign, which makes it 0.2357 of a troy ounce. And today that's about $723. So I find it unlikely that the coins would have sold at auction for under the gold price, because certainly if you were to bring those sovereigns into here, we would pay more for them than the auction realised, and that auction price also includes buyer's premium. So the person who sold the coins has to pay probably about 20% of that $685 per coin to the auction house itself. Samantha, no, we don't know when the proof and mint sets are coming out. Just watch our Facebook page, and as soon as we know anything, we'll go up there. Probably the most popular question we've had this year. We don't know. We don't have any special information that you don't have. As soon as we know, we will let everyone know about that. So the news, that's it for the news this week. We're a bit light on with news this week. So what I thought I'd do is I do this topic sort of towards the beginning of every year, so that it gets coverage on YouTube and Facebook, and for new collectors to understand some basics around PCGS grading. So PCGS is the professional coin grading service. They're an independent third-party company in the USA, and basically you send a coin to them, and they have a group of graders look at that coin, and they grade it according to their standards on a scale of 1 to 70, and then they encapsulate it in a tamper-proof holder like this, with a label on the front that has the grade on it. So PCGS has been around since the 1980s, and it's picked up in popularity here in Australia, since the late 2000s up until now, and it's become especially popular in the last few years with modern coins. And modern coins, I mean, by modern coins I mean pre-packaged coins released by the Perth Mint or the Royal Australian Mint. And for new collectors, they see these PCGS graded coins, and they think, oh, I want to do that, I want to get my coins graded. So a common question that we get here, and we had it several times last week, was, I want to get X modern coin graded. And it could be anything made in the last 10 or 12 years. Usually it's a $2 coin. That's the most popular things for people to ask about. I want to get X $2 coin graded. Is it going to be worthwhile? And if we're answering that on the phone, the answer is can't say. We need to actually see the coins to be able to help with that. So usually we're very non-committal about people on the phone, but if they are people in the shop and they happen to have the coins with them, then we're happy to provide them with the same sort of advice that I'm about to provide you now. Now let's take an example of a $2 coin that we'll get asked about a fair bit. This is 2022 Remembrance Red Poppies in the card, the original mint packaging here. So I'm new to collecting. I've bought one of these off of eBay, for example, for $240 or whatever the going price is on eBay at the moment. And you bring it into me and you say, oh, I want to get this graded. And my first question is why? Why do you want to get it graded? Often, the reason that you want to get something graded like this is, for new collectors at least, is because they think they're going to make money out of it. So let's say you did buy this for $240, this particular $2 coin off of eBay, and you are going to get it graded. Are you going to make money out of it? Well, that depends. It depends on whether you get a MS67, which is, this is available for purchase in the store right now for $275. If you're an MS67 and you've paid $240 for this coin, you are going to lose money. If you get an MS68, which is available for purchase in the store at the moment for $350, you might make $50 eventually. If you get an MS69, which is right there, then you could stand to make $1,000 or more. Now, how do you know if your coin's an MS69? And the answer is, if it's your first coin that you're getting graded, you don't. It's as simple as that, because you need to be able to grade a coin to be able to send it to PCGS with any degree of certainty about the results you're going to get. Hello Catherine, thank you for joining in today. Catherine is outside catching up on the mailing. So let's bring up the slide here of PCGS grading. So the first thing I always ask people is, why do you want to get your coin graded? And up the top of that slide there's 5 reasons about why you might want to get a coin graded. The first is liquidity. What does that mean? It means that if you get a coin graded by PCGS, then it is probably going to be easier to sell later on than if you don't get the coin graded by PCGS. Why? Because it is difficult for buyers to, debate with you about the condition of the coin, about the authenticity of the coin. But also, from a buying point of view, hang on, Catherine's coming in. Hello,
Catherine. The coin
Catherine.
on eBay is too expensive.
What's that?
The coin on eBay, it's too expensive.
Okay, sorry. If you do want to buy one of those red poppies in a card, we've got them in the shop here for $195. By the way, don't spend $240 on them on eBay. Now, where was I? Oh, okay, yeah, so liquidity. Also, buyers have assurance that a coin that is graded is of a certain quality, so it makes it easier to sell the coin to someone remotely on eBay or via a Facebook group. Certainly here in the shop, if you brought that coin in here, I'll tell you what our buying price is for those is $150. We pay $150 on for those, so we make $45 on it. If you were to bring that coin in here, that's a MS69, and we got that priced up at $2,600. I'd probably pay more like $1,800 to $2,000 for it. Whereas if you bring it in a card, it's $150. So it's more liquid. It becomes more easy to sell for you as a holder. You might get it graded to preserve the coin. So you might have a key date 1925 penny or whatever, and you might get it graded because these holders give you a degree of mechanical protection they can be handled, you're not going to damage it by dropping it, and so on and so forth. You might get it graded because it's a grade rarity. What's a grade rarity? Well, this is an example of what a grade rarity is. We've got 3 poppies here. We've got an MS67, MS68 and MS69. The MS69 is a grade rarity. The last time I checked, there was only a handful of those 2023 poppies in MS69. So it is a rare grade rather than a rare coin, because of course they aren't rare coins. I've got 6 of them here right now. So if I have 6 of them, they certainly are not rare. And the last one is purely for authenticity, and by getting something graded by PCGS or NGC, then it provides you as a buyer and perhaps a potential seller with assurance that the coin is real. So you might get it done for key date coins like 1930 pennies or American gold coins, classic gold coins, so it really helps with that sort of stuff, this assurance of authenticity. Let's just have a look at this comment here. Jason says, I sent my $2,000 mil for grading. I know it won't grade that high, but it was more for sentimental value than anything else. So, excuse me. One thing I didn't list here about why you might get a coin graded is because you want to. Because you want to just perhaps experience the process and see how you enjoy it. And you know, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. My first 2 coins that I sent to get graded 14-15 years ago were done simply because I wanted to. I wanted to see what it was like. I wanted to see if my idea of grading was similar to PCGS, and they were nice coins that I'd spent, you know, a reasonable amount of money on, a few $100s each on them. And I just wanted them preserved, and so that no one could fiddle with them or clean them or whatever. Funnily enough, I sent them through Eric at Drake Sterling, and he just sent one back saying, don't send that, it's been cleaned. So thank you, Eric, for saving me there. And the other one I still own, and I'll probably never sell that because it was the first coin I got graded. Now, let's take this $195 poppy here that Catherine's bought in. This is what you can buy them for in the shop. And you buy that off of us, and then you bring it in the next week and say, oh, I want to get that graded. So what is it that you need to know before you get that graded? Firstly, and most importantly, and really the only thing that matters, is you need to understand if that coin is a good one or not. Now, not comparing it with 2012 poppies or comparing it with coronations, I mean comparing it with other 2022 poppies. Is it a good one compared to other 2022 poppies? And the only way you can know that is by having looked at a lot of them. That's the only way. You need to be able to compare them. So if you were to just buy this off of us blindly now, I've got no idea where this one come from. I guess we bought it from someone at some point. And I probably haven't looked too closely at it because we don't send this sort of stuff for grading anymore. I don't know if it's a good one or a bad one. I have no idea. I don't know if it's an MS67 or an MS68 or an MS69. If you come in here, you're quite welcome to look at our graded examples and make a judgment call yourself. So if it is an MS67 and you send this to get graded, the cost of the grading is, you'd need to consult Eric for exact numbers on this, but you'd probably be looking at about $50 for this coin, plus shipping and handling and all that sort of stuff. So if you buy this off of us and you pay for shipping and handling and grading, you're probably going to have between $250 and $275 sunk into the coin. And it comes back in MS67. Hang on. And you can buy an MS67 off of us for $275. So what does that mean? It means that, you know, you need to take into account the current market price for a particular grade. You need to take into account what you've paid for the coin, and you need to take into account the grading cost. And the other thing that you need to take into account is the amount of time that it takes to get a coin graded. So how long does it take? 3 to 9 months, 3 to 6 months, certainly 3 months plus. And the way the modern coin market is, you know, let's say for example that you've got an absolute lock MS69 and you buy it and you paid a lot of money for it and you send it off to get graded and it takes 6 months to come back. There could be another 15 or 20 MS69s that appear in the meantime. and your coin that you thought you were going to make a couple $1,000s out of might only make $300 or $400 because there's so many more that have appeared in the time since you sent yours. So it's not as simple as grabbing a new release product, sending it to PCGS, getting it back in a holder and selling for profit. It doesn't work like that. When we do send modern products to get graded, there's a couple of reasons why we do it. Firstly, and most commonly, is because the packaging is damaged and the only way to sell it is graded. We don't sell things with damaged packaging. And secondly, for some of these new release products, we will actually look through the stock that we get from the mint and try to pick out the better coins and send them. And a good example of that sort of thing that we do is 2012 red poppies. Hang on, I'll just change the slide here. 2012 red poppy C mint marks in the PNCs versus in the cards. We don't ever send the ones out of the PNCs because they are always mishandled and toned and not very nice. So my answer to people that want to get these graded is don't. So that there, we're selling that for $600, and if that came back as an MS67, you effectively wasted your time and your money getting that graded. Similarly with the one in the card, if it came back an MS67, you've wasted your time getting that graded as well. So unless it's an MS68, unless you know what an MS68 looks like, don't get your $2 red poppy graded if you're paying current retail price. Right, I hope that helps people that are interested in getting things graded. Now, let's just see here. Mark says, what would an MS61 wavy be worth? No idea. I don't have that information in my head. I just go and do comparative research like everyone else. Carolyn says it's not always about the money. Mark says, with the amount of coins getting graded, why don't raw coins and cards go up? The amount of coins getting graded is still tiny compared to the number of products that are still in the cards, Mark. If you go and look at the population report, and the population report is the number of graded coins of each type on the PCGS website, so you can look at that to see how many coins are graded approximately, and the grade distribution of those. So if someone who is sitting here watching, if they want to go and look up how many 2012 C mint mark red poppies have been graded and compare that with the mintage of them, which I don't know off the top of my head, but it's in the tens of thousands, I know that. And it's still a small percentage of that. There's still a lot more cards around than graded coins. Adam says, Mark, so that's why there are people that rush for first mint strike grade. So the first mint strike thing is more of an American type thing. People rush to get them graded here in Australia because they can get a premium on the first highly graded coins. And a good example of that is the Vietnam silver proofs that, now I might have the numbers wrong here, but when the first ones came back graded, and I believe, I don't know whether it was the Vietnam ones or not, I believe someone actually flew the coins over to PCGS in America and brought them back here. The first silver proofs in '69 were getting over $1,000 in it, but it now turns out that 69 is the standard grade for a silver proof Vietnam $2, sorry. So people got a premium on them because they were first, and I counsel anyone who's buying graded new release products to wait 6 months before they buy them, because you will lose hundreds and hundreds and possibly thousands of dollars being the first bidder on the top graded coin. You need to really just wait until the population becomes big enough so that you get an idea of what the grade distribution looks like. And often those people that rush them off to get graded don't necessarily even look at them. They just run around to as many dealers as they can and get their one or two from as many dealers as they can and send the whole lot off express to PCGS without even looking at them. We did a video a few months ago about just looking at the grade distributions for $2 coins versus the grade distributions for a submission that we did, because we look at all of our coins first. So don't rush in and buy highly graded new release products. You'll get your fingers burnt, almost certainly. Carmelo says, how do you tell a filler coin versus a genuine coin? You're quite welcome to bring it in here, Carmelo, or send me pictures of it. Most space fillers are obviously space fillers, and I can usually pick them from a photo, and if I can't, then I need to see them in hand, and if I see them in hand, I can usually pick them in hand, and if I can't tell it from my eye, then we have other tools here in the shop that we can use, scales and XRF and things like that. And if you are concerned, make sure that you buy one that's in a genuine PCGS or NGC slab, because I did say that that was one of the reasons why you would get a coin graded. So perhaps, you know, if you are going to buy a 1930 penny, buy a PCGS graded one, but make sure that you do all your due diligence on the coin holder itself, because of course there are fake coins and fake holders around the place. PR69 is below average. Peter, thank you, Peter. I couldn't remember the number, but I thought it was PR69. Peter says PR69 is below average for a Vietnam silver $2 proof. What does it mean? It means that, you know, if you spend $600 on a silver Vietnam proof and send it away to get graded, if it comes back at PR69, you're almost certainly going to lose money. And I wouldn't ever send one of those, because I don't have the skills to be able to pick a PR69 from a PR70, and you know, the number of people that do are few and far between, I would have thought. Now, Ian says, no, Ian, I'm not going to talk about $2 coins. Isn't it time for you to go back to work? John says error coins are a different story for grading. Yes, they are, John, quite different, and I don't take most of this information that I've said today about error coins other than assurance of authenticity. Jason says, I saw an auction house that has a 2018 $2 Eternal Flame in AU58, saying there's only 8 in this grade. And obviously this is an awful grade, so that's why there is so few of them. Yes. So what is an AU58 Eternal Flame in a slab worth? $5 to $10, I would have thought, and no more than that. And of course someone spent almost $50 probably getting it graded. Thank you, Peter, for sharing that silver proof information. Sam says people have FOMO and want the highest grade sooner than everyone else. Now, there's no harm in that if that's what you want to do, but of course don't go bleating about it on social media 6 months later when you lose 80% of your money or 70% or whatever it is as the grade table sort themselves out. Mike says his 1930 penny cost him $10, so he's okay. Hello, Tanya. Peter says an AU58 Eternal Flame is worth $2. I think we could get $5 for it in the shop here, Peter, just out of curiosity's sake about why someone sent one to get graded. It's interesting. Those low-grade coins in America do sell for cents. They sell for absolute cents. Right, that's it. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for your participation. Great crowd today. I think we had almost 70 people today. That was good. Hello to everyone on Facebook, YouTube who's watching later. Next week will be the 28th, which will be the last video of the month. So that means it's a question and answer video. So if you have any questions that you want to hit me with between now and next week, feel free to email me or send me a Facebook message or ask them live. If you ask them live, you have a much better chance of getting a ridiculous answer. So please save up your questions for next week. Happy collecting, everyone. As soon as we know anything about mint proof sets, we'll let you know. Please stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.